Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gentlemen, I'd like to start my questioning with a plea. We've had testimony from the Southcom commanders over the last 2 or 3 years that we have intelligence about drug shipments coming to the United States by sea. Of the 100% that we have intelligence on, we're only able to interdict 25% because of lack of maritime assets. Since this hearing started, 12 Americans have died of overdoses. Our country is under attack. People are dying. People are dying in my state 1 a day. Please see if you can find a way to allocate LCS or other maritime assets to work with the Coast Guard to interdict those drug shipments. It is inexcusable that we know of a drug shipment and can't do anything about it because of a lack of maritime assets. If you want to respond, Mr. Secretary, I'd be delighted, but basically this is a heartfelt request to try to do something that's within our power to do.
Senator, could not agree more. The CNO and I have been talking along with Admiral Fowler down in Southcom exactly about this. This is a mission that fits the LCS, and I think this coming quarter or so, you'll see our response in that regard.
Thank you. I deeply appreciate that, and I look forward to continue to work with you on that. To somewhat lighter question, a major change is you're talking now about a large surface combatant. You're in the early stages. Can we assume that that's going to follow a similar path of the new frigate program of existing hulls working with partners and that kind of approach to this project? Admiral?
If I could, the short answer is yes. We're going to try and really shorten the acquisition cycle, and we do so by leveraging more advanced and mature technologies, hull forms, all the way up to combat systems, sensors, weapons.
Good.
And then we take more rapid, shorter acquisition steps, if you will, to follow that Moore's Law curve or that exponential curve a little bit more closely with smaller steps.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And I should have, at the beginning, I've had some exchanges with naval officers here over the last month or so about the accidents with the McCain and the Fitzgerald. I've sought data. I've met with you at the Pentagon. I want to express my appreciation for the forward-leaning approach that you've taken, the data you have supplied. That doesn't mean I'm always going to be happy, so keep at it. I want to see the data on a quarterly basis, specific ship by ship in terms of training levels and all of the issues that were identified in the reviews of those two crashes. I think it's very important, but trust but verify, I guess is what I'm saying, and I intend to continue to verify it. But I do appreciate what the Navy has done and the responsiveness that you've shown. Secretary Spencer, last year we talked about the audit, what you expected to find. You said you saw 4 to 7 years, I think, as a ramp up to get to a clean audit. Now that we've had a year, any modification of your estimate, and are you satisfied with the process thus far?
Senator, no update on the date. I will say that we've come in a year. I'm not kicking it out one more year, keeping 4 to 7 being a constant. We learned a tremendous amount, and we are underway right now remediating the findings from the audit itself, but the remediation is only one of the steps we're taking. It's what we're learning from the remediation. As an example, in the way that we monitor our real estate, in the way that we keep tabs on armament, we're finding many different ways to improve the way we do it. Best practices from both other services, other forms of government, and outside the wire.
So your conclusion is that the audit has certainly performed a useful function?
Its ROI is a multiple, sir.
That's excellent. I appreciate that and look forward to future progress. One just short comment at the end. You had an exchange, I believe it was with Senator Rounds, about the cyber threat. I deal with cyber in 2 other committees, and one of the things that's come out in recent hearings is the threat via subs, that the major contractors are pretty secure and strong, And our adversaries are now going through a little 6-person engineering firm that supplies one screw to a major contractor, and that's how they get into the system. I commend to you that as a risk vector that I think needs real attention. I also commend to you the red team approach to get their attention.
Senator, you've hit the nail on the head, and that came out in the review that we just had, our cybersecurity review. But I'd like to turn around and say hats off to you and Congressman Gallagher for setting up the solarium. We look forward to seeing what's going to come out of your organization in that regard. There is not enough time and there's not enough resources to be put against this issue right now. We've got to get the gray matter starting it, and then we're going to start affecting the remediation.
We had our first meeting yesterday. We're on our way. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.